Hello again and welcome to the GameFront podcast. I am your host, managing editor of GameFront, Ron Whitaker, and we are joined this week by, once again, our entire team. Our editor-in-chief, Janelle Bonanno, is here.
Hello, everybody.
Our senior editor, Phil Hornshaw's here.
Hey.
Video producer, Mitchell Saltzman's here.
Hey, howdy, hey.
And the one you've all been waiting for, video producer, James Heaney, is here.
That's me.
And as we've just learned, just before this podcast started, James is currently being saluted for his skill and dedication to gaming.
Oh.
Yeah. I received a letter, a handwritten letter with the wax stamp with the initials for PlayStation on it.
No.
Would you like me to read the beginning?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Your skill and dedication have been recognized. You have been selected to join the exclusive Bloodborne alpha test. That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I could keep going, but they just keep talking about how skilled I am.
So mad / jealous.
Like, I don't know what's funnier about that, the skill and dedication part, or the fact that they sent the Bloodborne invite to you and not Mitch.
I mean, if Mitch would try a little harder, I'm sure he would be recognized for skill and dedication too.
I was the only person to beat the Bloodborne demo at the GameStop Expo.
But did you beat it hard enough?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
I had this Bloodborne thing in my head this morning, and 2K sent out the co-op gameplay trailer that they sent out this morning for Battleborn, and I totally got confused. Like, I saw the email, I clicked on the link, and I was like, this is Bloodborne, man. This is supposed to be that demo that Mitch played. This is going to be great. And it came on, and there's lots of bright colors, and, like, you know, it's a little art style thing. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? And I realized it's not Bloodborne. It's Battleborn. It looked cool. Now, once I adjusted my expectations. Did you guys watch that yet? I mean...
No.
I watched the Battleborn trailer. It looked crazy.
Did you click on it accidentally because you thought it was Bloodborne?
No.
I did.
Sorry, 2K.
Yeah, sorry about that, 2K. God.
James, are they going to allow video on that alpha?
They said this is clearly just a marketing thing that I have been randomly selected for, so they didn't. It says that I'm going to experience bugs and it's incomplete. They have not said anything about whether or not I can record it.
Well, we'll find out.
But they didn't specifically say not to.
So, anyway, Battleborn did look kind of cool. It's a 5-player co-op shooter with varied characters. It looks like...
It's a MOBA.
It looks like... it's a campaign shooter. It's not PvP.
Battleborn?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same game?
Gearbox
Thinking about because I don't know what the hell this game is.
Are you thinking about that other game where it's like sword fighters and stuff?
No, I'm talking about Battleborn. I'm reading on Twitter, I follow Chris Sabat.
It does have multiplayer in it, but it also has a full co-op, 5-player co-op campaign.
Video interview, is Battleborn a MOBA?
There you go. That was what they showed this morning in that trailer, was the co-op campaign.
Describes their new game as a hero shooter.
I'm
not watching this interview. Nope.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Game Informer is doing like a month of coverage on it.
They are. That's what I'm looking at.
So there you go.
Good for them.
Anyway, it does look kind of neat, though, at least the co-op part of it. I don't really care about the PvP multiplayer so much, but I love co-op games, so it looks kind of...
Yeah,
well, then we got a game for you.
Well,
it's called Destiny. And we've been playing it all goddamn week.
So, just for those of you that don't know, Phil and Mitch, and to a lesser extent James, and even Janelle, they've basically been living Destiny for the last week.
Yeah. Sorry, Mitchell, I didn't mean to cut you off by making a...
Oh, no, I was just saying, I follow Chris Sabat, who's the voice actor for everything. And apparently his company is doing the voices for Battleborn, and he's like, check out this awesome new MOBA from Gearbox.
Whoops.
Okay. Yeah. That's it. I don't know that the Battleborn Bloodborne thing was as bad as, if any of you guys watch football, you've been watching the NFL at all, Microsoft paid like $11 billion to Apple or to the NFL to have the Surface be the official tablet of the NFL.
Oh my God! And then
its announcer is like, you'll notice they're using iPads on the sideline.
So sad.
It's so ugly.
Aww.
And I like Surface so much more. I want it to succeed, but they're just terrible at marketing, I think.
That Apple's already sees the culture, and so when somebody sees a tablet, like, ooh, iPad, even if it's not, doesn't matter.
All right.
No, it doesn't matter because it's just a Xerox of something.
Yeah, but now
I did there. See what I did there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm following.
Narrowside of trademarks. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I just think it's hilarious to, it's the same sort of thing. It's all this brand confusion. So, but anyway, everybody basically except me has been playing Destiny like crazy people. And for those of you that didn't see it, Phil's review is actually already out.
Yeah.
I
thought that would be the end, but it's not. It's not the end.
Tonight at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, Phil and Mitch are teaming up with some people.
Chaos.
Yeah, a couple of guys from the stream.
Yeah,
who regularly attend.
Chaos. Who was on my stream last night while I was playing The Sims, and he was like, I gotta get some rest because I gotta make sure I'm ready for the big battle.
I know, man.
On one hand, I wish I had it on PS4 to join you guys. On the other hand, you guys are so lucky I don't have it on PS4 to join you guys.
Are you level 26, Janelle?
No. This is how terrible I am. I have played so much, but I'm only level 16.
Like, I don't wish the grind to 24 on anyone. Like,
no,
it's
super horrible.
Awful.
There's like multiple stages of suck. It's ridiculous. Like, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, you get up to 26 and then, or 25 or whatever. You get all your legendaries basically. And then, you have to improve them. That's how you continue to level up after that. And so
how do you improve them, Phil? Why don't you tell them?
Oh God, by driving around the various planets, picking up really hard to find material loot drops that are just randomly scattered around the levels.
About how many of them do you have to find, Phil?
About 400, I should think. And you pick them up literally one at a time. 2, if you're lucky, you might get a drop that's 2 and not 1. It is the worst, you guys. I mean, I thought the Crucible grind was bad, but this was even more mind-numbing, which is shocking. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. So
and the thing is like, I always worry when game developers are like, we want to create this big world and we want the players to feel how big it is. Whenever you hear a game developer say that, always
it means a lot of dead space.
Because it means a lot of dead space and a lot of your personal time wasted just so the developers feel good that you feel how big it is. No, I want it to appear big. I don't want it to feel big, damn it. I already
That's the worst.
Every day. The last thing I want to do is give you to, a spindle for 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, I don't remember what game was it at E3 this year when they were like, it's Zelda, the new Zelda. They're like, you see those mountains out there? You can go to those mountains and touch every spot on there. And I'm like, that does not sound like fun.
Well,
I know.
Bungie actually said the same thing way back when Destiny was still in like early development phase. And then it turns out you can't.
Yeah, it's a rather hilarious video.
It's not quite that big. I mean, it's not that big. Well, you know what they're doing is they want to bring us gamers to our knees and make us beg to be able to pay to get the stuff leveled up. And then they're gonna make it so you can buy your way to level 26, and they're gonna be like, oh, we're the good guys. When they've made this,
some players just don't want to have to spend the time, and they would rather spend the money.
No,
so
and I don't want to spend the time developing a video game. I just want to buy a video game.
No, but like, in my opinion, Destiny has made a lot of mistakes that other games have already made and amended, and I just don't understand why they chose to went the route. Like, for example, the way loot drops work is the way loot drops used to work in Diablo 2, and Blizzard was like, we fucked up royally, let's change that. And Destiny's like, no! We're gonna blaze a trail into the past. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, okay, speaking of Ultimate Time, I'm sorry, this is a big pet peeve of mine. Speaking of Ultimate Time Wasters, you have a game in Destiny where they have a system, a UI system, where it alerts you where you need to go through little exclamation point markers, right?
Okay.
And when you're in the tower, those markers are bright greens, so you know exactly where you need to go when they want you to go there. The bulletin board itself has its own marker that it brightly shines whenever you need to go there. But no, instead of putting the marker on the bulletin board, they're going to put the marker on somewhere else called the postmaster, where you need to pick up a useless document that you don't have room for, that then does nothing but light up the bulletin board marker. And you're like, for fuck's sake, why the hell is this built like this?
Yeah.
Light up the
It's built like that so they can...
I already know what's in this mailbox. He's just going to tell me to go to the bulletin board.
It's hilarious that he mails you something, because the bulletin board, you can stand at the mail drop and turn to the right slightly, and 10 feet away is the bounty guy, right?
I know.
Like, he's in walking distance of the mailbox. He could have walked it to the mailbox and handed it to the person, who then hands it to you so you can open it and walk over to him. It's like,
Look,
this is
little
like
ridiculous things like that I feel like perfectly describe broken game design.
Well, look, these are all things. These are all things that we've seen. I mean, MMOs have done these for years, and they've gotten better about it. They've learned.
And all of them stopped doing it.
Yeah, they've all learned that this is not where, anybody that was around for, like, early WoW and stuff, you remember the old FedEx quests? They're like, take this letter, give it to that guy over there. It's very important. I can see him from here, and I can just wave him over, but I'd much rather you take it.
But here's the thing. Activision can't go, well, we've never been in...
Yeah, bullshit,
Activision. It's really new for... No, bullshit, Activision. You own World of fucking Warcraft. Like, what are you doing?
That's why I think the idea of the selling a fully leveled 26 character, that's coming. I mean, look at the level 90 boosts they're selling in Warcraft for $60.
I know, but they want the gamers to beg for it first so that they don't look like the bad guys. They're going to say, there was a market for it.
Yeah, well, we weren't going to introduce this, but we care so much about our players that, they've been begging for a way to level faster.
You know that's bullshit when they explicitly say, but the game doesn't even start until level 20. Well, then what the fuck? Why don't you just make it start at level 20, you asshole? Like, if that's when the game starts, that's when I want to play it. What do I look like?
I want to bring this up because I'm not critiquing Destiny one way or the other because I haven't played it yet. I've got a copy. It's sitting there on top of my PS4. Still in plastic. I haven't even opened it yet. I will get around to playing it. But I have that's a whole problem in general. When I see people talking about a game, like when Phil posted his review, a guy commented on his review and said, yeah, but you gotta get to the end game before the game really gets good.
I hate that comment.
That is not like a defense of the game. That is bad game design, right?
Well, a lot of people are talking about, like the content yet to be released.
Yeah, you have to wait
it's ridiculous.
Or wait for DLC or an expansion for the game to be any good? What the hell do I want to play it for?
No, and you know what? Like, Activision really screwed up when they were like, well, it's such a shame, and this doesn't affect Phil's review, but the reviews that came out within a day of the damn game being released, they're like, well, it's such a shame that people didn't wait for all this other content. Excuse me. You released a game as is, and we're reviewing it as is. It's such a shame you couldn't release a complete game.
Well, I mean, I do think that there is some, like, merit in saying, if you released the game, if you wrote a review within 24 hours of this game coming out, maybe you didn't play it all. Like, that's fair. You know, I mean...
No, but they were specifically addressing the rating content.
Yeah,
content that has not been released yet.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. That's what I'm saying. I can totally see if somebody wrote a review of Destiny, like, day of release, since we know that nobody had early code. You know, I can see somebody being like, well, you know, it probably didn't play that very long. But if you're like, well, you know, you really can't really review it until the expansion comes out. That's just stupid.
No, you know what? You know when I read that, you know, I don't even read the words. You know what my brain hears? My brain hears, early access, motherfucker, joke's on you! That's all I heard.
I heard something to the effect of, well, we had a complete game, and then we thought, you know, why release it all for just $60? You can cut large chunks out of it, call them expansions, and get $460 out of it.
I mean, I will say, in Destiny's defense, I do like that there's additional content drops coming, you know, well, and these aren't expansions, they're just like new playlists and stuff, shows up every week or whatever. Okay, yeah, I do enjoy that the game is kind of always shifting and you can get new stuff if you stick around. So that's, I mean, there is some merit to
Can I ask a question? I just want to throw this around the room. How many of you guys think that Destiny is going to continue to do like weekly content drops? And how?
Well, I mean, it depends. They're not like super involved, you know. They're just different. Like, we know for a fact that they have other multiplayer playlists and stuff kind of in the bank, waiting to come out for a bit and then go away. So I mean, those are at least going to be around for a few months.
I mean, it reminds me a lot of WildStar. Janelle, you remember WildStar? They said, we're going to do monthly content updates for the life of this game. It's going to be really aggressive. You know, we're going to have all this cool stuff. And they did, what, 2 of them?
They did 2 months worth, and then they announced they weren't doing that anymore.
Yeah, that
This sucks. This is so hard.
They're like, I think he's was something to the effect that we were working on our next patch, and we just want to make sure it was really high quality, and so we're going to suspend our monthly updates and just make sure that the content's good as it can be, which is fine.
But WildStar fell into the same trap that Destiny fell into.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted it to be, we want the world to feel so big, which was another literal quote. And, you know, we want the game to be hard, and we want the loot drops to not match your gears, so you need to go to the auction house. And so they made a lot of the same mistakes that other games have already made, and I think they lost traction because of that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean,
people were like, I already have a day job, bitch. I'm not doing this.
Yeah. It's fascinating to me just how much Destiny is, like, caught in the past. I mean, like, everything. It's weird. Like, these are MMO problems that other people have solved already. All the shooting feels like it's from, 8 years ago. It all feels like early Halo stuff without any real changes or improvements. It's weird.
I personally don't have a problem with that.
Weird.
I mean,
I don't either. It's just strange. It's just, it strikes
me really?
as strange.
They made Halo.
But they made Halo like so many years ago, and then they made it again, and they called it Destiny.
It's going on, and I think it's, indicative of how WildStar built their game, and, these are all games that are coming out around the same time. They're like, oh man, why can't we recreate that giant MMO boom that sold, so many copies and had players playing for 10 years? Oh, it's because we went away from the core principles. We must go back to the core principles. The core principles that made the game shit. Yes, that's Let's make them go to the postmaster first every fucking time. Let's do it. Let's
and you can only hold 5 letters, because there's no folding of these letters.
Yeah. Let's make your ability to hold items super compact, so you can't really hold it.
Don't worry, you'll be able to buy inventory expansion. They want you to beg for it first.
And, how you can only hold 6 missions at a time?
Yeah, the bounties.
What the bullshit? Like, I should be able to hold as many missions as I want, like every other game.
Well, I was gonna say that's why they make you go to the postmaster first, so you can be annoyed as shit when you have your inventory full and you can't get that bounty that you have to walk 10 feet to deliver to the bounty tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a completionist, nothing is more annoying than trying to do the bounties I already have just so I can go to the jam postmaster. So every time I go in orbit, I have this big flashing light above the tower, and I'm like, I know you asshole! I know I have to go to the postmaster.
God. See, you guys really make me want to play this. You guys really are making me want to play.
Yeah, I feel bad. I played Destiny all stupid day yesterday, and as much as I bitched about the grinding, I still goddamn did it, didn't I? I still sat there, and I still played it, so...
Can I just say that you, this is your MO, Phil?
All right.
I mean, when Titanfall came out, Phil was like, God, Titanfall's half a game, it makes me crazy! I'm gonna go play it for 6 hours.
Correct me if I'm wrong, like, at the end of the day, it's still as a shooter, it's still a pretty decent shooter. So millions of people play Call of Duty all the time, even though it's the exact same experience over fucking over again. And, you play it just for the experience. That doesn't make it genre breaking. It doesn't make it groundbreaking. Right. It doesn't make it living up to the hype. And I think that's the ultimate problem. I think what was expected and promised wasn't delivered on, but it's still a pretty decent shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, can I just say, like, at the beginning of this, I said I wouldn't wish the end game farm of Destiny onto anyone. And that may sound like
somebody you'd wish it on?
Yeah, I wish it on
pretty mad at you, James.
Yeah. Fucking Bloodborne alpha. That may sound like I'm really down on Destiny, and to an extent I am, but I think if I was playing Destiny like I was playing Halo back in back when I was in, high school and middle school and all that stuff, if I was just playing it with friends, like every now and then, like if I had a buddy over and we would just take turns playing on Xbox Live and grinding that way, it would be great. I just don't recommend really, like, trying to go as fast as you can, trying to get up to level 26, because it becomes a miserable experience. But I do enjoy the game quite a bit. And yeah.
Alright, so let me ask you guys a question. You guys have been playing it. Is it a shooter, is it an MMO for shooter people, or is it a shooter for MMO people?
It's a shooter for MMO people.
Yeah. Well, I would say both.
In my opinion.
I feel like they're trying to catch everybody in the trap. That's the problem, is that it's trying to be so inviting to so many different demographics. Like, it doesn't want to be. It wants to be deep enough that people get lost in it, but it doesn't want to be so deep that it turns away casual shooter fans. It wants to be nerdy and have lots of lore and be a really crazy universe that people want to come and read all the cards for.
It doesn't want to put that lore in the game.
Exactly. It doesn't want to shove it in your face because it's afraid that some people might be turned off by that. It's weird. I feel like there's too much disparate goals being the game's trying to accomplish.
Trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
But
for me, it feels like the shooter part is solid. So if you love shooters, you'll love Destiny to an extent.
For a bit.
Yeah, for a bit. But everything else feels like veneers over a shooter in which they half-ass in order to not make people have to commit beyond the shooter aspect if they don't want to. Right. But enough so they feel like the people who do, they can hook.
Yeah. Exactly. But it's strange because you'd think that they would try to look toward World of Warcraft as a model. I mean, that has had millions and millions of people who got really into it, and Destiny doesn't have that kind of draw. You can't get that many people to be like, yes, I'm going to commit to a character for years and years. I'm going to follow this story for years and years, because there's not enough. There are no characters. There's no, your player doesn't even get a name. It's sort of strange.
So I don't know. I mean, James, what about you? I mean, you've probably played it a little bit less than...
I've played it quite a bit less. I've played the enjoyable parts of the game with exception of twice, where I've done 2 videos for farming early XP, like levels 4 to 7, and farming levels like 7 to 14. And those times when I was grinding was just, I don't like that. That's not why I play video games. I'm not a farmer. I am a gamer. And so, but most of my time has been spent just playing missions, kind of like solo. And then I enjoyed that, and the most fun I've had at all was when Mitch and Phil and I played the mission together. So I enjoy it when you're playing leisurely, but if you're doing this to farm as a day job, it's not fun. It makes me want to play Firefall, because I remember being in the like really early alpha, and I don't know what ended up happening with that, but I can't help but wonder if that turned out better than Destiny. And I guess I could find out by going and playing. But
yeah, I mean, it's out now.
It's out, but I haven't done that.
Well, it's stuff you can get on Steam now. I mean, if you want to grab Firefall and check it out. Yeah, it's free to play. I got a buddy that plays it, says it's still pretty decent. So,
but is that free to play? Is Firefall free to play? Better than Destiny?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't played Destiny.
First shooter MMO that I think might be a little bit more traditional to what people are expecting MMOs to be.
It's more traditional in the sense of an MMO.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So it's like it feels a lot more like, and you know, genre of the game aside, it feels like you're playing, you know, Fallout with multiple people in an open world.
Sold.
So there are no instances, there are no maps to deal with. Each one giant world that you play in.
Yeah.
And you can either be by yourself and run around. People can jump in with you and help you. You can party with other people.
But there's no like crucible. There's no like team deathmatch.
Not that I know of as of yet.
At least, yeah.
I haven't played in a while.
There used to be a PvP mode, but they stripped it out because they had to fix it. I don't know if it ever made it back in.
Well, that's not... I don't enjoy playing Destiny's PvP. It's like, if I want to play PvP, I'll play like Titanfall, Call of Duty, something like that. I enjoy the Borderlands aspect of Destiny, and it actually is just whetting my appetite for the next Borderlands game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Borderlands, like, more than is probably healthy. Yeah, Janelle, you're in the same boat with me. Like, I think between Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2, I've topped, if you add them together, like 550 hours of playtime. Yeah, and that's insane.
I was one of those people who had, like, a specific... I followed all the right Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, and had different RSS feeds, so I was pinged immediately when certain bosses would go live or have higher spawn rates.
Yeah. And
would get people together for that day and grind different bosses.
Yeah, and follow all the Twitter accounts, and there's a page you can go to and get all the golden keys for the chest.
Yep.
You know, I have like hundreds. So I loved Borderlands, and that was one of the things that, you know, when I initially saw Destiny, that was the first thing that hooked me about it. And I listened to you guys talk about it. I'm like, you know, it's only like 2 weeks till Borderlands 3 sequel comes out.
It's nothing like Borderlands. I regret that I ever said it's like Borderlands meets Halo in my life. Like, it's nothing like Borderlands.
Well, from somebody that's not played nearly as many hours of Borderlands, and like I said, I'm just leisurely playing both of them, it reminds me a lot of it. But I haven't spent the hours that you guys have. But you have these cooldown special things. You have the looting and looking for weapons. There seems to be a much bigger variation in weapons in Borderlands, though. Yeah. Like, I feel that there's really only maybe 10 weapons to choose from in Destiny, and I might be wrong, but that's what it feels like.
You're right. There's what?
Yeah.
There's 4 primary weapons, 3 special weapons, and 2 heavy weapons.
Yeah, but there are unique legendary weapons. Like, I've seen a couple of weapons that are, you know, at least have a different look.
Do they handle any differently though?
No. That in terms of that, you can't beat Borderlands in terms of weapon variety. There is no game that has more weapon variety than Borderlands.
That's fair.
But the thing that's so great about it is that it's a loot hunting game, and your time, you spend a lot of time in the game, and you have to spend a lot of time in the game, but you're constantly rewarded with something.
Right.
Destiny, I feel like, because they lack a breadth of weaponry, they choose to go with scarcity, which no longer makes it a loot hunting game. It makes it Duck Duck Goose or something. I don't know.
Just keep getting fucking goosed.
You're hanging out at the wrong bars,
The way
James.
they give out loot in the Crucible is bullshit. End of story.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it you and Phil that were tweeting the pictures of the loot that you got the other day? And you're like,
yeah. Did you? Okay. I tweeted one at Mitchell. I was top score, least deaths, and every single other person got a drop but me. It was ridiculous.
I saw that.
I was like, God damn it.
The one that I chose, the one that I tweeted, we won the match, but no one on our team got any loot.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
I don't understand why they made that decision. You're spending 15, 20 minutes in the game getting nothing. Everyone should get at least something.
Yeah.
You would think. I mean, God.
They just did that just to be dicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's all meant to just like make you stick around. It's super irritating.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of really arbitrary walls.
Well, I mean, just to go back for a minute. They talk about anybody that played World of Warcraft back in the old days. I know you did. You spent, hours and hours and hours. There's a great, I think, I guess it's WoW Insiders doing it. The guy is writing like a look back at Molten Core when it first launched, and it's literally, there are sections where it's like, okay, you just spent 4 hours farming to get to this guy. Congratulations, there are 40 of you, and he dropped 2 pieces of loot. Good luck. I mean, that's what Destiny sounds like. It's like we're going to artificially make the loot scarce just to keep you playing until there's more content.
But see, here's the difference, right? In World of Warcraft, which knows how to build an MMO, yes, there's scarcity, but you always get rewarded in some capacity, and there's always agency to figure out how to divvy out those rewards. In Destiny, you are treated as an individual, so there is never always a reward, and there is no agency.
Yeah. No, that's the things like you guys said, things we've worked past in MMOs. When you go on the raid now in World of Warcraft, everybody gets loot, everybody, gets a reward of some sort. So, But anyway, that's Destiny. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to throw down on Destiny before?
We're gonna play that goddamn raid, you guys.
Yes, tonight.
Goddamn raid.
Like, I'll tell you what, I'm everything in my life has been leading to this moment, so
I'm really
better
excited
watch
to watch.
it.
So tonight,
I've heard like the raid is supposed to be significantly. I've heard all kinds of things about the raid and how great it is and how maybe it's insane and difficult and something totally different. I'm super excited. I really hope it meets my expectations. It probably won't, but for all the effort, for all the work that has gone to this moment, this is the anticipation is crazy for me right now. I spent so many hours yesterday just getting my gear ready so that I would be like not a big anchor around the team's neck. Like I'm
gonna be that big anchor.
What's that?
How many hours do you have played?
Let me look. I'll bring it up right now on Bungie.net.
While you're bringing that up, tonight, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern on twitch.tv/gamefront.
For all the complaints. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So you can watch Mitch and Phil and their party take on, was it Vault of Glass? Isn't that what it's called?
Vault of Glass.
Vault of Glass, yeah.
50 hours. I have.
How do I check that?
In 1 week.
Go to Bungie.net, go to Legend, and then it'll say how many games you've played, how many kills you've had, and how much time. Right there on the bottom left.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
They also have it on the app if you have it.
Yeah. It's all the same thing.
Well, now I
50
feel
hours in a
less
week.
bad that I'm nowhere near you guys because I only have 15 hours.
Seriously, so much time.
It's 50 hours in a week, you guys.
I've played one day, 12 hours and 39 minutes.
Yeah, I played more than you apparently.
So,
But I'm ready for this thing. We're gonna take this shit down, everybody. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited. I hope.
I'm excited.
Like,
I'm super excited for you, Phil. I really
The thing is, I'm like a little jealous. I wish that I had been as dedicated and skilled as PlayStation is saying that I am. Because if I was, I would have a level 26 character ready to go in and roll with you dudes.
I'll trade you. Do you want to trade? Do you want to trade accounts? You can use my account and you play the raid, and I'll play Bloodborne.
No, I'll pass.
You fucker.
Not to be a dick, but I'm not level 26. I'm level 27 now.
Oh,
shit.
Oh shit!
That's how much time I put in. So
We're all pretty impressed by that. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm sure you are. I didn't leave my house yesterday. Like, I have not been outside in a long time.
What's your favorite way to get new gear, Phil?
There's not a favorite way, but the best way I found, what I did, the way I think this is kind of like the method. First I ground the Crucible. I ground out all the way up to level 2 reputation, which takes for fucking ever. And then I maxed out the marks. You can only get like 100 Crucible currency marks per week. I maxed that out like in a day. So then I purchased all the legendary I could afford from the Crucible when I could finally buy it. And then I needed to go farm gear or go farm materials to upgrade it, because you can, unlike rare gear, you can upgrade legendaries like a bunch of times, and every time you do, you get more light, which increases your level, right? So you don't have to hunt more gear. You have to improve the gear you already have. So that's the second part of the grind, and that's what Mitchell and I were doing yesterday. And while I was doing that, I was also grinding up the Vanguard, which is, the like story missions, the patrols, stuff like that, the bounties. Ground that all the way up so that I could buy stuff from them. Maxed out those marks, bought a helmet, so now I have full legendary gear, and I've been farming material to upgrade it all. And I'm as high up as I can get with what I can easily accomplish before the raid, basically. I've maxed everything as much as I can max it without struggling further.
I think 28 is the max that you can possibly get to until you get raid armor.
Phenomenal. Good to know. I'm going to get pretty close. I'll probably get to like 27 and a half before I'm done. I have a little more to do today. I've just got to play a couple more strikes and get my helmet leveled up so that because I don't want to go into this thing and get fucking run, to be honest. Like, I'm trying to go into it with as much preparation as I can. So,
As a good raider should.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So, don't forget to watch that tonight. It should be entertaining. It won't be as entertaining as the Alien video you guys did.
Oh, man.
Because that was great. For those of you that haven't seen it, Mitch and James teamed up with Ian Hink from Game Trailers and got to play Survivor Mode in Alien Isolation. And it's one of the best videos they've ever done.
Yeah.
It's so scary. That game is so scary. And
so
the fact... What was that?
Oh, sorry, I keep trying to explain something. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. My explanation is that game is so scary.
I was just going to say, if you're not familiar with the Alien Survivor mode, there's the game's campaign, which is its story, and then there's a second mode that's just missions that you have like an objective to complete, and you're kind of dropped into a level with the alien, and it's all timed. And James and Mitch and Ian, when they were playing, the idea was that they were going to compete to see who could finish it the quickest to have the lowest time. That's what this video.
It's funny how things change.
How quickly.
I just wanted to lay that groundwork for anybody who's not super following.
And if you haven't seen it, you can go to youtube.com/gamefront and see it, and you should, because it's great.
I'll link it. It'll be linked in the post when the
below.
Podcast
yes. So, I mean, seriously, what did you guys think about the survival mode, James?
I thought it was amazing. Like, I would buy that game without a campaign. If there was just other missions. Or if it was cheap enough, I would buy just that game. It was fun, and it was exciting. There was a lot of stakes, and I think it's partly because we were really trying to... I was trying to win the competition. And it made the stakes really high, and you don't really have a chance in hell against that alien. You just have to be quiet, pray, and sneak around. Like, it's scary.
Yeah, it's super stealthy. Did you guys have access to any of the weapons, like the flamethrower or anything in that build?
Yes. We did have the flamethrower, but the thing was we only on several occasions were able to use it to defend ourselves.
Oh yeah, no.
Ian one time, and I don't know if this is the one that got cut out of it because we lost the video capture, but there was one time he fought that alien off like 3 times with the flamethrower.
Nice. How did it change? Did it change as he was fighting? Because supposedly, and I haven't really seen this in action because either I avoid the alien altogether when I play in previews, or it murders me, so I haven't really seen this. But supposedly, the more you use any of your gear on the alien, the more it learns. So it'll, what?
Because I've watched that whole video, and Mitch got the flamethrower out. The first time they used it, he pulled out the flamethrower, and he blasted the alien with it, and nobody knew what happened. Like, he didn't even know what happened. And they're like, are you still alive? He's like, I don't know. And then the second time he tried to use the flamethrower, the alien, ate him. So I'm not 100% sure.
The second time. I think James is confusing my and Ian's runs, because I don't think Ian used the flamethrower more than once on.
Using it once and working, and you using it a second time and getting stabbed through the belly. But I also remember Ian when he was going up the stairs, being able to get that alien to go away. I think on the 3rd time it stopped working for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard that happens. I've never had opportunity to test it, so that's interesting. Yeah, it's supposed to adapt to your methods, basically. Become even more difficult. So.
It's a great, it's a great video. It's very entertaining. So, if you haven't watched it, and you want to see what Alien looks like, I mean, Mitch, did you hate what...
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not the style of game that I would normally play if I wasn't being forced to. But, sitting down and playing it, my problem with scary games is always that I'm scared of being scared. And once I actually get scared, it's like a release. And I'm able to have fun once I actually get scared. But it's the stress leading up to it that is not the fun part for me. But this was it was fun being able to play it with James and Ian in the room and competing with them. And I think people are really going to like this game.
The fun part for me, if you guys watch the video, watch it once and enjoy watch the gameplay and everything else. Then go back and watch it again and just watch Mitch. All right? Because
I'm by far the most freaked out person of everyone on every turn, no matter if I'm playing or not.
I watched it a second time just to watch Mitch, and he's covering his face and going, "Oh my god. Oh my god." He's not even playing. I mean, he's just watching.
It's a really tense game. It's a really tense game.
It might be the only game that's ever done that to me. It really gets you stressed out. I can't really think of another game that's like that.
I don't know. Tell you what, it's the one I'm most looking forward to for the end of the year. Pretty excited about that game.
I mean, I've seen Dark Souls be frustrating, and I saw Mitch play Outlast, and it was, scary, but I don't know if I've ever seen quite that kind of reaction, So, you guys make sure you go see that. Again, it's on youtube.com/gamefront. You'll enjoy that. So, for next week, one of Mitch's most, anticipated games, or one of his anticipated games is coming out. Shadow of Mordor. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor is coming out.
Oh, I want it.
Wait, I'm taking that, right?
It's...
What?
I'm taking that game, right?
No, you're taking Alien.
I'm
We've already
kidding. I'm joking. I know how much you want this game so bad.
James is just making a pile of Mitchell's games.
James like, I'll play Shadow of Mordor when I'm not busy playing the Bloodborne Alpha.
Whatever. I've already beaten the Bloodborne Alpha. I don't even care anymore.
They're probably sour anyway, right, Mitch? But so Shadow of Mordor comes out on Tuesday, and also if you're into racing games, The Crew comes out on Tuesday. So, Phil, right when you went to PAX, you played Shadow of Mordor, right?
I did. I played quite a bit of it, actually.
So, I mean, I've heard Mitch talk about it. What did you think?
I had a really good time when I played it. My playthrough was mostly focused on the Nemesis system, which is that thing where there's persistent, goblin or orc guys who are, in the army hierarchy of Mordor, and you have to like murder them, or more accurately, you have to like capture them, turn them to your side, and then you can send them out on missions to go kill each other or whatever. But there's a whole screen that maps this out where it's persistent and shows you like which war chiefs, the guys who are in charge, and like who their lieutenants are and stuff like that. So the ultimate goal is for you to take over those 4 war chiefs in the part that I played, so that they work for you, because you're a big thrust of the game, even in the story, I guess, is that you're raising an army inside Mordor to then take up against the army that Mordor is raising. And since it takes place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, I think what you're doing is delaying Sauron's ability to like attack the rest of Middle Earth, pretty much, so that it takes the reason that there's this 80-year span between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings is because you messed up Mordor's shit, basically. But so when I played it, I had a good time. But it was all focused on just running around the world, seeking out these dudes and taking over them, and then sending them out to go kill other people. And that triggered a bunch of cool events, like you could have bodyguards turn on their war chiefs, and so when you show up, because you get to go participate in that, or it can happen in the background, or you can go see it. And if you go, then like you get to watch this animation where the guy like turns on him, and then it just turns into a huge melee with all these guys, and you jump down and you enter the fight, and he's working for you. And if you capture a war chief, you can send him against another war chief, and they will take both their like platoons of guys and like face off in the field somewhere, and you can go be a part of that. And I played one of those, and what happened was the enemy war chief, he like had a buff on, or they all have like different elements, right? Personality elements, they're all unique. And his was that if he's like, I can't remember, he gets fear if he's betrayed. So like the trigger of this battle triggered that fear thing, and then so he turned and ran, and his whole group turned and ran in the middle of the fight, and so we just got to run him down and stab him in the back. It was awesome. So there are a lot of cool elements at play in the Nemesis system, and that's what I saw. I had a good time with it. The end. Sorry.
No. I mean, it sounds great. I've been wanting to, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it too. Probably not as much as Mitch. So, and then
I'm looking forward to that game, but I'm still looking more forward to Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bayonetta, how about a review code for Bayonetta, Ron?
Oh, Bayonetta.
Oh, Nintendo games.
Yeah. Even more apropos. So, I don't know if I brought this up, if I told you guys this, but when I just moved and I've been unboxing everything that was in boxes at the other house. And I've discovered so many things that I'd forgotten that I owned. And so this week I pulled some boxes out of storage and I was going through them and I found my original Nintendo and all my games.
Nice.
My Sega Genesis and all my games. My Super Nintendo and all my games. All together in one giant box. Nice. And I thought of you, Mitch.
Yeah? I
thought of you when I found that Nintendo. I was like, Mitch probably appreciates this a lot more than me. So one other thing I thought we did that we'd talk a little bit about here. I think we mentioned it last week, but I thought we'd talk about it a little more is the Minecraft story from last week. And the fact that
turned out to be true.
That it turned out to be true. Microsoft bought Minecraft for, count 'em, $2.5 billion.
Yep.
And all I need to make that story complete is a video of Notch doing the little Dr. Evil thing. That would be great. But we talked a little bit last week about what we thought that would mean for the future of Minecraft. But I think it bears discussing now why Microsoft did what they did. And I've seen a lot of articles talk about it. I've mentioned it on multiple occasions, and I even wrote a thing for the site where I talked about how I think they're going to do an exclusive version of Minecraft.
Yeah, I think so too.
An exclusive sequel. They won't mess with anything that's out there now.
Absolutely have to. Why wouldn't you? It's such a huge market.
Yeah, they really do have to. And I feel like it won't even be. It might even be a free game or very inexpensive. Because I feel like what it's going to be is a platform for Microsoft.
That'd be a tricky caveat for sure. That would be a game changer if they've released it for free.
Yeah,
for $5.
Well, yeah, $5 or something. Think about it. I mean, it could be the Team Fortress 2 of the Xbox One.
Yes. Wow. That's. Ugh.
Whereas, think about it. Every game you buy on Steam comes with 2 or 3 hats. Team Fortress 2 or, so something like that. So, okay, Forza's coming out. I buy that. I get, a race driver suit for my character in Minecraft 2. Or...
what the hell? What if you could play it on your Windows Surface tablet?
Or your Windows mobile phone, all 3 of you that have one. In the world. 3 people.
If you think about it, Minecraft has sold 15 million units for PC and 12 million units for Xbox 360. And they have 54 million players in total.
They've sold 54 million units across all platforms. Most of them on mobile.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they want to sell that Surface, stop bringing it to the NFL and get kids to get Minecraft.
Well, I mean, that's
children.
That was seriously. That was the whole premise behind part of that Minecraft 2 thing. Is I feel like a lot of those people that are playing that game are or younger than 16.
Yeah,
and especially the ones that are playing it on console. And so, what do? Well, you put out Minecraft 2 exclusive to Xbox One, and you listen to all the 12-year-olds begging Mommy and Daddy for an Xbox One so they can play Minecraft 2 with their friends.
Yeah. Another element to this whole thing is, did you guys read Notch's his letter about why he
his farewell?
Kind of?
Yeah.
It's so sad, kind of.
I didn't think it was sad. I thought it was good. I was glad that he's getting out. He didn't seem happy with it.
No,
that's exactly it. It's that the situation is such that he has to fucking... he would rather cut loose than be a public figure in video games, because that's the kind of culture he has to deal with. That kind of sucks.
I think that it's larger than that. I think what I took away from it was he would rather cut loose than be a public figure. Period. He made this little game, and he never intended for it to be, he never expected to sell 54 million copies of his goofy little, Lego game. And when it did, he said, like he said in that letter, he became more of a symbol than a person, and that's not what he wanted, so.
Right, but I mean, he's been well documented as having dealt with some of these.
Yeah.
Like the EULA situation that happened not long ago, remember, with the modding or whatever. I just feel like there's definitely an element to this in which gaming kind of cannibalizes people who are successful, and it's obviously not everybody. It's a small group of people who get crazy about. I read an article not long ago that pointed out a bunch of examples of this. I mean, Phil Fish is a big one, obviously, or however you feel about Phil Fish. People descend on that guy. But there was even, remember when there were tweaks going on to Call of Duty
they changed the damage in a machine gun.
Yeah, exactly. And that resulted in a bunch of threats and BS online. It's just there's definitely an aspect to this where the online culture sucks.
Well, I think there's one other thing that
people, and it's kind of sad,
I mean, did he explicitly say that that was the reason he was leaving? No.
That was part of it. He said that was part of it.
He mentioned it.
Because he left development of Minecraft a while ago.
Yeah. That's the thing. He's not even involved, and then he's still dealing with.
And here's the quote that he said. He says, I make games because it's fun, because I love games, I love to program, but I don't make games with the intention of them becoming huge hits, and I don't try to change the world. Minecraft, it became a huge hit. People are telling me it's changed games. I never meant for it to do either of those things. It's flattering, and to gradually get thrust into some kind of public spotlight is interesting. But then he goes on to say that he was confused and he didn't understand why the internet was exploding with hate against him over the EULA for Minecraft. He realized he'd become a symbol and he didn't want to be a symbol. He didn't want to be responsible for something huge that, quote, I don't understand, that I don't want to work on, that keeps coming back to me. I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not a CEO, I'm a nerdy computer programmer who likes to have opinions on Twitter. And he goes on even to say that if he's going to continue to make small experimental games, and if he accidentally makes something that seems like it's going to start gaining traction, he's going to abandon it immediately. So, I mean, he's had some issues with it.
Well, and it should be said that it's not just people attacking him on Twitter either. I mean, anytime the guy says anything, it becomes a news story. Also, he was a public figure to the point where when Notch says something, Notch has enough money and enough influence that it got circulated through all the sites. It's like, oh, here's what Notch thinks about Windows 8, and stuff like that. And that we have a contribution to that too, where the guy didn't get to be himself anymore in a way, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, there's another whole aspect to this that I've not seen discussed anywhere, and I'm hoping that Janelle can help me a little bit because I don't have enough of the expertise to know exactly the ins and outs of it.
Uh-oh.
But one of the reasons that, Microsoft paid $2.5 billion for Mojang is to get their hands on Minecraft. But one of the interesting things about it is that they used money that they already had overseas. All right, this is what I read.
Yep.
And because they did that, the actual cost to them is far less than the $2.5 billion number that's being bandied about, because if they had repatriated that money, they would have lost a lot of it in taxes and whatnot. So I'm hoping that some of you guys have some working knowledge of this, because that's just about as far as I can go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you may qualify to exclude any sort of earnings overseas, as long as you don't repatriate it and use it for a business subsidiary overseas. So what that means is if you take overseas cash from, let's say, a division in the UK, and you spend that money for Minecraft, which is a foreign company that you're purchasing, you get to declare that money as part of the foreign entity, and it doesn't pay U.S. IRS taxes.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was getting at, is they managed to dodge a lot of tax liability because they didn't have to repatriate that money.
Yeah, it becomes an overseas loss, and this is something I don't know the exact details to be able to simplify it better, but there was a recent amendment to the IRS tax exclusions that allowed people to do this, and it's actually a big thing that companies are doing all over the place. So, for example, Burger King purchased a Canadian burger company that is solely in Canada with, using all of their earnings for the year, and that allowed them to pay $0 in U.S. taxes for this year.
Yep. So there's a lot of, there's a lot more to it than just, wow, Microsoft really likes Minecraft. I'm sure Microsoft really likes Minecraft.
Yeah. But there are a lot of companies purchasing foreign companies, even at losses, because that loss is less than the tax they would have to pay.
Yeah. So, just something else to keep in mind. There is a boring banking reason for a lot of things. And that's why I didn't mention that till the end of the podcast. So, did anybody else want to throw anything in before we wrap it up?
Watch that stream.
Yes, definitely.
Please, I've worked so hard. Watch it.
We better get this podcast up before 5:30.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Just in closing, I'll remind you to watch that stream. Twitch.tv/GameFront. You can find it on the front page of the site and news posts about it as well. If you want to find Mitch and James, you can just go to youtube.com/GameFront, or you can watch them every day at noon Pacific on twitch.tv/GameFront. All of our editorial content's at gamefront.com. You can follow us on Twitter at GameFrontCom, or you can send us hateful emails at podcast@gamefront.com.
They don't have to be hateful. They don't
have to be hateful, but I figure if I say hateful and somebody sends me a nice one, I'm always surprised.
And if it's entertaining, maybe we'll read it.
Oh, we'll definitely read it if it's entertaining.
I mean, on the podcast.
At this point, because we've never received one.
No, that's not true. We did receive one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't reading it.
It was from a Nigerian prince who liked to listen to our podcast.
Oh, really?
And yeah, he was actually thinking about making an investment.
Right.
And but it never
front the cost of bringing the money to.
Yeah, he just wanted us to put the money in to host the podcast for a couple years in Nigeria. So. But other than that, it sounded like a pretty good deal. I sent it over to our biz dev people. Should be fun. So just to remind you, today we did have everybody here. Editor-in-Chief Janelle Bonanno's here.
Hello!
Senior Editor Phil Hornshaw.
Bye. Back to Justin.
And video producers Mitchell Saltzman.
That's me.
And the real James Heaney.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye!
Bye.